get your workspaces all, in order here, folks, because we are going top of the flow chart right here.
Yes, we are. Don't get
with
no tired.
Wrestlemania coming up right here on Peacock this very weekend. We're thrilled to have here on the Rich Eisen Show WWE superstar, WWE Raw Women's Champion, and one of the all-time greats in the history of wrestling on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line is Becky Lynch. How are you, Becky?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. So, are you ready to kick some ass and take names, Becky?
Oh, hell yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah, I am. I stay ready to kick some ass.
Okay. We all know whose ass you're going to attempt to kick, but Bianca Belair is pretty stout in her own right. So what can you tell us to expect coming up this weekend, Becky?
Attempt to kick her ass. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate attempt. I will. I've already beaten her in 26 seconds. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, Rich. I've already beaten her in 26 seconds. I demolished her 2 weeks ago on Raw when I took her out, or maybe it was 3 weeks ago now, almost, when I took out her throat after she hit me as hard as she could with a cheap shot. A cheap shot. It was after the match, and she hit me as hard as she could with a cheap shot and put me in the hospital, so I have to do the same to her. There's going to be no attempting. It will be a matter of fact. I'm going to beat her, and if she thought 26 seconds was bad, if she thought that was embarrassing, just wait until WrestleMania.
So, is this the point where I apologize for how I set up the question?
Yes, you can apologize to me.
Okay, Becky Lynch, I apologize to you and everything that you stand for and all of your fans and the legion of fans who support you. I apologize. Is that good?
All is forgiven. All is forgiven.
Man, I feel like I just took one in the throat. Yeah. But okay, very good.
You don't want the manhandle.
I know that. So, let's go in this direction then. How's motherhood treating you? How's being a parent?
Great.
How's that going?
Oh man, it's the best. It is the best. She's the perfect little frickin' angel. She's a perfect combination of angel and psychopath, because you want like a little bit of a weirdo baby, that's just random weird stuff. And so she's an entertainer. I mean, considering who her parents are, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. But
okay.
Sorry, my throat's still a little bit scratchy from Bianca and that cheap shot. But she's great. The only problem, not the best sleeper, but we bring her everywhere, and so if that's the only trouble she really gives us, I can deal with that. I'll just drink some more coffee.
Okay, so while you take that sip, then my question for you is: what is the Becky Lynch Seth Rollins tag team parenting skill set? Can you walk me through what that looks like, Becky Lynch?
I think it works out pretty well. Excuse me, throat's still in bit. I tend to be the one that's up with her in the middle of the night,
Okay.
I'm still nursing her, and so in the morning then he'll take her, look after her so I can catch up on a few Z's if I need them, and then whenever it comes to anything, I've got appearances, he'll look after her. He's got appearances, I'll look after. It's pretty great tag team.
Let's get into your world in WrestleMania right now. I mean, so you have definitely ascended to a certain spot. What if I told you when you first gotten started that this is the way WrestleMania in 2022 would be going for you, Becky Lynch?
Gosh, it's one of those things, right, where you set off and you have these dreams and you have these ambitions and you have these goals. But I'm somebody who failed PE at 15 years old. So I never thought that I could be where I am today. Of course I wanted it, but I feel like when you're going after a dream, you're constantly battling maybe doubt, and there's this weird overcompensation of confidence that comes up sometimes. So it's this weird battle and this weird struggle. But I think if you told me that everything that's happened in the last 2, 3, hell, the last 10 years, even being in WWE, I don't know that I would have made it here, because I think my head would have exploded.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So how difficult was PE in Ireland that you flunked it at 15? What the hell?
Honest to God, I don't think it was that hard. I think it was just because I refused to do anything. I thought I looked stupid running. I still look stupid running, but at least I do it now, you know. And so at the time, you know, whenever I was asked to do anything, I would just stand there, you know. Do you remember that cartoon Daria? And she would play whatever, it was soccer or something, and
okay.
you know, she'd just stand there and put her hand out. I feel like I've got a visual image of me being exactly like Daria was in gym class.
Okay.
And
thus your failing grade. Thus your failing grade.
Yeah. That was my failing grade. I wasn't great at much else. English and history, I was okay. But PE, awful.
Well, I think it's all worked out. You know, I realized at age 15 I couldn't do anything with a ball, so I just decided to talk about it. Now here I am today talking to you. So I feel like, you know, some similarity right here. Becky Lynch on the Rich Eisen Show.
It worked.
You know,
it worked out well for both of us. I think honestly the ability to talk has helped me immensely too.
I love it. TJ, you want to ask a question? TJ Jefferson, our social media grandmaster, who is also our wrestling aficionado. You're going to Wrestlemania this weekend.
I will be in the building.
You will be in the building.
Yes.
So, okay, go for it.
Looking forward to it.
Ask Becky what's on your mind.
Becky, what's going on? How you doing today?
I'm good. Apart from that coughing fit, I'm great.
Fantastic.
Well, I got a question, but before that, you brought up the haircut on Monday, and I'm sorry to see that happen. But Becky, I mean, you saw the Oscars, right? You know you can't mess with these queens' hair. Sometimes bad things happen. So, but you are rocking the haircut very nicely. So.
Hang on, but TJ, let's bring this back a second. Do you remember why I went for her hair?
I do remember. See, Bianca has a braid, and she kind of slapped Becky with it and left a mark. So Becky was coming for it.
Not just left a mark. She scarred my body.
Scarred you for life,
Bex. Scarred my body. Yes, potentially, possibly, probably not, but she did attempt to, and so. Of course I was going to go after her. It's an illegal weapon. It was an illegal weapon that she was using in the match.
The audacity, Becky Lynch, the audacity.
The audacity. And if we look at history, we look at last year's WrestleMania, when Bianca won the main event of WrestleMania against Sasha Banks. How did she win? She hit her with her braid right before the finish and then got her into the KOD. And so, like any sane person would, I was trying to cut her hair off to preserve my win at WrestleMania.
Yeah, to take away that weapon. I get it. Look, I understand why you did it. You know, I'm just saying, though. But, Becky, here's one thing I want to talk to you about. Back in November of 2018, the moment where, you know, right leading up to SummerSlam, you got hit. You had the blood dripping down your face, and it became that moment. Like, I actually went on Twitter that night, and I said this, Becky Lynch, her face of crimson mask, got her moment. Like, we know in wrestling, there are just times when something happens, and you know, this person has now become made. This person is now a star. And when I saw you standing there, blood on your face, arms outstretched, crowd going nuts, I knew that that moment was it for you. Like, you were top of the food chain. Looking back at it, can you remember anything? I know you got a concussion, but do you really remember what happened at that moment? And while you were up there in the crowd, like, you know, soaking in the adulation, was that a conscious thought in your mind, or were you just trying to get through the moment?
I was honestly, if I answer honestly, I would
love nothing but honesty, Becky, between us.
I was going through the motions. I was knocked out on my feet practically, and so when I came back through the curtain, I was just like, where am I? But luckily enough, my subconscious took over, and my subconscious also happens to be a badass. So that's nice and handy.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, it was just one of those moments, you know, you have Jimmy Snuka on top of a cage. You have Hogan slamming Andre. You have Austin not tapping out to Brett in the sharpshooter with blood dripping down his face. You standing there bloody, like, and we never saw that from a WWE woman before. And I thought that moment was it, and that made us realize who you were. And so that was just, I mean, it was an awful moment, but it turned out to be something great, I think.
Right, and now we got WrestleMania coming up on Peacock this very weekend. Becky, let's do this again when you don't get cheap shotted in the throat. And you know, whenever you're in LA, I'd love to have you here in person. Would love to meet you.
Absolutely, I would love to come on. I actually live half the time in LA, so we can definitely make that happen.
Fantastic. When the Rich Eisen Show also offers babysitting services. So,
Oh, really? Well, that's very handy. I might actually go out on a date or something. How long can you look after it for?
we're a full service program.
We love the kids, Becky. We love the kids.
We do. We absolutely do.
Amazing.
We absolutely do. Thanks for the call, Becky. Good luck to you this weekend. Look forward to seeing how it all plays out with your immediate victory, without a doubt.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We'll see you this weekend. I'll be there yelling, Becky.
I just learned my lesson with Becky Lynch right here on the Rich Eisen Show on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line right there. Showcase of Immortals on the grandest stage of them all. Do not miss the most stupendous two-night WrestleMania in history. Second and third, Saturday and Sunday, right here on Peacock. And for those listening who may not have Peacock, what is your malfunction? I'm sorry, that is not on this promo card.
That was aggressive.
That's my New Yorker and me coming
That's
out.
how you feel, Rich.
I'm
That's
sorry.
fine.
Well, you were inspired by Becky to cut a promo.
Oh, yes.
You have one of the best promos ever.
I'm
Rich.
sorry. I should just mention you go to peacocktv.com to sign up. That's what it says here, and it's not as aggressive, and it's actually informative, and actually gets people to sign up.
I like the way you did it first, to be honest with you. Sometimes you got to scare people.
Saying that's just the way I promote. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here